Hi everyone. This video is kind of a part 2 to the previous video, so if you haven't seen that one yet, I would recommend that you go and watch that one first, and that video is the one about IQ and intelligence and what that actually means. But hey, I'm not your mother. Watch them in whatever order you want. I just think if you watch the other one first, you'll get a lot more of this. So, in the previous video, I talked about what IQ and intelligence actually is from my perspective and my experience. It's more like voltage as opposed to, this person is better or worse than another person. It's more about the rate at which thought energy courses through your brain, which is very metaphorical and not scientific. Don't actually use thought energy in a peer-reviewed journal article. You will get rejected. But building off of that, what being a neurodivergent kid to me is it's like being put behind the wheel of a much more complicated and powerful vehicle. I see, for the purposes of this metaphor, the average neurotypical person is like someone behind the wheel of a family sedan. Bog standard car, 4 seats, 4 doors, the car that everyone thinks of when you say car. And being a neurodivergent kid or a gifted and talented kid is more like being put behind the wheel of a Formula One car, or if you want to get really nerdy with it, one of those super cool giant Japanese robots where they're like 3 stories high and the person sits in a cockpit inside the head and it like fights Godzilla and stuff. Do they ever actually? Anyway. So, as you're born and as you grow up, you learn to drive your vehicle, your body. You learn how to control the different inputs and outputs, the different senses that you use to perceive the world, and the way that you communicate with the world through your speech, through your manner of dress and your body language, and the choices that you make to move about this world. And with a sedan, that's pretty easy. They're a good starter vehicle. But when you're born as a neurodivergent kid or a gifted and talented kid, it's like being plopped behind the wheel of an F1 car. And if you're just a learner driver, that would be very daunting indeed. I don't know if you've ever seen a Formula One car, but they look nothing like a normal car. And even the steering wheel is absolutely nuts. Seriously, go look it up on Google Images. They've got like all sorts of buttons all over the place, and it's a lot. And if you're just a little kid and you're learning to drive, it's really a lot. Probably not recommended for a learner driver. So you start out in the world and you have all these extra things to take into account when you drive. And if you compared, your driving skills to someone else who's driving a sedan, the driving instructor might say, oh, well, she's doing really great. She's good at indicating her turn signals and, following the road rules, and she can do a 3-point turn and parallel park. And meanwhile, you kept blowing past all the stop signs. What's your problem? And, well, a Formula One car drives a lot faster. It's not exactly designed for stopping at the stop sign and indicating before it turns. It's built for going, hundreds of kilometers an hour and winning very fast races. So you're going to have trouble with that. And it's going to take you a lot longer to master the vehicle that you've been given compared to someone else. But as you get older, there are benefits to driving an F1 or a Gundam. There's stuff that you will be able to do that other people won't be able to do. And although it may take you longer to get to the point where you feel like you know how to drive this vehicle, it is still possible. And it's important to not use the same milestones for a neurodivergent child as a neurotypical one. I think there's even some studies out there that the neurodivergent brain does take longer to fully mature, on the order of, I think, 4 to 5 years. I'll see if I can find the data on that and include that in this description. So I like to share this story, my theory, and it's, very much based on personal experience and not science so much. But I feel like it's a good way to look at what neurodivergency actually is. So much of the models that we use right now, so many of the models we use right now, my mom will totally pull me up on grammar if I don't correct myself. So many of them are based on assuming that a neurotypical person is the correct one. That's the vehicle that we're all supposed to be driving, and that's what we're all driving. And if you're not doing what a sedan driver would do, then you're doing humanity wrong. Instead, I think that we need to move our language and our thinking towards considering us to be driving different vehicles. Now, we're all human. We're all members of the human race. Every last one of us. But we have different aptitudes and different inputs and outputs. And we shouldn't be aiming to make neurodivergent children into good little neurotypicals. Because that's just not the vehicle they're driving. And the more that you push your child or that you push yourself down that path, heck, if you pull it off, good on ya. But every time I've talked to a neurodivergent person who has tried to make themselves as neurotypical as possible, they haven't seemed very happy about it. And I have yet to meet someone who's been fully successful at that, for that matter. So yeah, we're just different. And that's okay. We're not ugly ducklings. We're swans. Anyway, it's just the way I see it.